U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. He's in Cairo for the first leg of his latest Middle East tour as a proposed ceasefire deal for Gaza hangs in the balance. Now, Mr. Blinken's talks with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is expected to focus on reopening the Rafah border crossing, which has been closed for a month. Now, this is Mr. Blinken's eighth trip to the region since the war broke out in October. The US's top diplomat will then head to Israel for talks with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He travels on to Jordan and Qatar later this week. A senior Hamas official has urged the US to pressure Israel to end the war in Gaza, adding that the group is, quote, ready to deal positively with any initiative that secures an end to the fighting. Hamas has accused Israel of committing, quote, a complex war crime with its raid on the Nuseirat refugee camp in order to free 4 captives. Hamas claimed 3 other hostages, including an American, died in Saturday's bombardment. Israel denies the accusation. Gaza's health ministry also claims more than 270 Palestinians, including children, were killed in that assault.
أنا طخوني طلق في كتفها حياة كتف بلاتين طلق في بطني دخل منام طلع من ورا طلع من ظهري أخوي الصغير عمره 12 سنة صف سادس معلوش الولد طخوا في بطنه طخوا.
On the ground is Sarah Coates joining us live from Tel Aviv. Sarah, Mr. Blinken's latest visit to the Middle East, his 8th, is being described as an all-out push by the US to secure an end to the war. But what obstacles still remain in his way?
Hello there, Jill. He's coming in at a time when there's real change in Israel's political landscape. We do need to remember that the centrist war cabinet member, Benny Gantz, he announced his resignation overnight, which could potentially leave room there for some of these far right-wing elements. I'm speaking specifically here about the National Security Minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, who is now demanding a seat in the war cabinet. And we also do need to remember that the right wing, including Itamar Ben-Gvir and also the Finance Minister, Bezalel Smotrich, they've been pressuring Benjamin Netanyahu to go harder in Gaza and also saying that if he accepts a deal with Hamas, that they will walk away from the coalition. So certainly a big challenge here. Also, we do need to remember the main sticking point that we've been seeing time and time again, and that is the end to the war. Hamas says it will only accept a full comprehensive ceasefire, and this is something that the Israeli establishment has been saying time and time again it will not accept. And really a lot of fear here from the Biden administration that if a ceasefire doesn't come into play very, very soon, that the situation also on Israel's northern border with Lebanon could potentially escalate into all-out war and potentially drag in Iran.
Sarah, can you also help piece together what's happening on the humanitarian front? Because the World Food Programme has paused its aid work from that US-made pier, and that's after Saturday's raid in Gaza. And also, we're hearing growing concerns about the safety of aid workers in the enclave.
Certainly, we did hear from a spokesperson from the World Food Programme. She came out to say that during this operation on Saturday that saw these 4 Israeli hostages rescued from the Strip, that 2 warehouses were hit by rockets, also adding that 1 aid worker was injured. Now, there's also claims in Palestinian media that the Israeli forces actually used this US-built floating pier, which has been constructed off the coast of Gaza, to actually assist in this operation. But that is being denied by the United States, with CENTCOM coming out to say that the Israelis used an area south of the pier. But certainly, as you mentioned, a lot of concern over the humanitarian situation on the ground with that operation, that maritime corridor, not really functioning right now. The United States has announced it is once again resuming airdrops over the northern part of the Strip, but they have been largely criticised as ineffective and inefficient given the situation on the ground. Now, meanwhile, the Rafah border crossing, which of course is a vital lifeline for humanitarian goods to enter the Strip, also for aid workers to come in and out, it remains closed, and there's not really much hope that it will open anytime soon, given this ongoing Israeli operation down in the south.
Just some of those obstacles facing Antony Blinken as he visits the Middle East. Well, Sarah, thank you so much. Sarah Coates reporting live from Tel Aviv.